Yep.
Okay, excellent. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mysticsense Series Episode 2. Today with us is Holly from Mysticsense.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So, Holly is one of our Mysticsense advisors. Today we're going to be talking about astral projection. My name is Phoenix. If you're not familiar with me, I'm also a Mysticsense psychic advisor. You can find me on the platform as well. So Holly, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your spiritual practice?
Yeah, so my name's Holly, and I have been working professionally in the spiritual and meditation world since 2016. But before that, I was doing, sorry, cat. So I was doing a lot of stuff. Sorry. So before that, I was doing a lot of practice with people that were friends, or I went to different classes or whatever. But I started professionally in 16 when I opened a business, and I started with Reiki, actually. And then it kind of developed and grew towards more connecting psychically and like a mediumship kind of way through meditation with my clients.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah,
So
no problem.
let's dive right into the astral projection. We are working from home today, so we do have a few cute little distractions happening.
Yes, we do.
They want to be a part of it too. I wonder if we should introduce our buddies so no one's wondering. This is Little Bits. You'll see her throughout the interview today. This is her mother, Olive. And this is Tish. Who's your fluffy buddy today?
I have 6 cats, and that one that just jumped up was Chase, and he is always up here. So I'm always like, can you not be up here right now?
It's okay if he's up here. Just grab him, put him on camera, and say, "Look, you're a star." Okay, so let's dive into our subject today. So, what is astral projection, and how can it be used to explore other dimensions?
Astral projection is when your soul or consciousness or both leave your body, and you're leaving this realm, this dimension that we call home, which is Earth. It's kind of like a realm. We leave that and we can go to different realms, different locations. We can go to pretty much anywhere that you can think of. I mean, you have the angelic realm, you've got the realm where like the gods are, or different like alien, I guess we would call them, species, because we really don't know what they are. You can go to like the elementals, like the fairies or the gnomes, or you can meet anybody and any being astral projecting using meditation. It really can be used to even travel within our own dimension. You can go to Mars, you can go to Venus, you can go check out the sun, you can go to a planet that we don't even know exists. It's amazing what you can do with meditation and astral projection, but it is just coming out of the body and going wherever you want, the past, the future. It's great. It's a really good tool to learn how to use. It really is. It can change your life in so many ways.
It sounds very freeing. We have so many possibilities beyond where we're at. I
Yes.
kind of feel like that's something a lot of people don't really realize, especially if you're stuck in like a busy, hectic schedule of the time. We have so much beyond our perception. And, I think that's a great thing. So
Me
could you
too.
please share some personal experiences or stories that you've had astral projection or astral travel so we can illustrate this idea, please?
So I use astral projection with meditation. So my specialty is meditation. And what I learned in the beginning is I started doing Reiki professionally. And Reiki is a great healing technique, but it can get a little boring as a practitioner as you're just kind of waiting to go from spot to spot. So I started meditating. And I was noticing while I was meditating that I would pull out of my body and I would go way above where I was and kind of look down. And I realized I was going to a different dimension, and I was looking down at the person that I was working on. And when I did that, I could see their chakras. I could see their energy. I could see their aura, but I could also see the blocks where I needed to go. This is where the problem is, whether it was their knee or their shoulder or something like that. And I could hyper focus onto that area. And I could work better when I pulled out of the body and looked at it from a different perspective. And I helped a lot of people do this. And afterwards, like the first time I did this, somebody's after it, when I was done, they were like, wow, I feel amazing. And they're like, what did you do? And I'm like, I worked on you from a different level. You know, I wasn't just here trusting what I was feeling. I was seeing it from a different perspective, like a higher perspective. But I also use astral projection because you can use it to heal yourself. You can use it for a lot of things. So when I meditate, I astral project out of the body. I protect myself. I protect the place that I'm at. But then I go up into the angelic realm, and I created a meditation space up there. And so I made it look however I wanted. You know, I have trees, I have flowers, I have the sky, and I added in these different items like a waterfall. And I would go and astral project and go into the waterfall and cleanse off negativity. I would cleanse off stress. I would cleanse off how I felt for the day or just the day. But I also realized I could pull out trauma and things like that and pull it out of me and wash it away and put in something that I needed, whether it was self-love or strength or whatever it was. But through this, I always worked with my spirit guides, and my main spirit guide is Michael. And I would go to him and say, okay, I've pulled out some stuff. What can I do? And he's like, okay, now you need to work on past lives or whatever. So through this astral travel, go and explore past life. And you can do that because you're astral traveling. You're just going to if you look at it as you're going to another person and not necessarily your past life, it's almost like that. You're watching somebody else's life. But yeah, you can do that with meditation and astral. But I am going to say, if you do that, work with your spirit guides. They keep you safe when you astral travel. So I always go with Michael. Archangel Michael's who I go with. And I've seen many places. I'm going to say one of the things that I saw, I have been afraid of the grays, the alien grays, for my whole life. I don't like them. They scare me. And Michael said to me one time, come with me. And this was all astral projection, got into a meditation. He's like, we're going to go. And I could see we were leaving where we were and going somewhere. I don't know if it was another dimension. It was further in the universe. I don't know. But we were going to what looked like a UFO. And I was like, I don't want to do this. And he brought me in there. And he's like, you need to face this. And when I did, and I faced it, and I met them, and I talked to them, and I kind of got to understand it a little bit, the fear kind of went away a little bit. I started to understand. And I started to really realize you can use this to remove fear, to remove trauma, to even just going to another dimension. Plus, like you said earlier, knowing there's more than just what we see is so opening. There's so many people that feel alone and like there's nobody around, or they don't connect to this planet. They're just like, I feel like I'm by myself. I feel like I'm alone. I don't belong here. Astral projection can help you find why you feel that way. It's liberating in a lot of ways, and it does open you up to a whole new perspective of life, of you, of who you are, why you're here. I went off a little topic there, but yeah, I think it's just, everybody should learn how to do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. I love your experience with the grays. I want to say I haven't considered that. I feel like a long time ago, me and my friend did experiment with something similar, but I haven't considered that in like years. That is just really mind blowing to me that you've used that to confront this fear in a protected, safe way. I really like that experience. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh yeah, no problem.
So what techniques or practices do you think are great for beginners to use to initiate these experiences with astral projection and to get started?
Okay, so I have learned over the years there are some levels. Some people I have worked with, who have never meditated a day in their life, can walk into a meditation and astral travel wherever they want. And those people amaze me. They can just go wherever they want to. What I have learned sometimes is the things that we hold on to that we don't realize we're holding on to, like the fight that we dealt with a friend that still bothers us to this day. That is something we hold on to. And when those things collect, it can keep you kind of locked down to the earth, and it can make it difficult to travel to these other places. Look at other dimensions. Some of them, not all of them, are a higher vibration. So if your vibration is too low, so your energy is not clear, you're holding on to this trauma, you might not get as far because you're kind of blocking, because these things kind of pull you down. So the first thing is definitely learn how to clear out these things that you don't need anyway. You don't need them. Whatever bothers you, whatever makes you upset, get it out, let it go, release it, cry it out. It's okay, because it's going to raise your vibration. The next thing is definitely protect yourself. I have heard some stories of people who astral project, and when they come back, something else is trying to come in. And that kind of scared me a little bit. I was like, okay, protect yourself. You can do that with like the white light. Just imagine a white light coming down and putting yourself in a bubble. When I do this, that's what I do. But then I also protect the room with the bubble, and then another, like the whole building. So I'm inside bubbles just to keep things out. And the other thing is learn who your spirit guides are. At least one, because they're the ones that are going to take you to these locations, and they're the ones that are going to keep you safe. So if you want to learn how to astral travel and you learn how to meditate, you close your eyes and you protect yourself, pull out of your body. Imagine you're floating up, and you float up out of the room, up out of the building, and you just keep going all the way up through the clouds and then come up into a new space. This can be a beach, mountains, a field, a room, whatever you want. It's your space. Develop it. Once you're there, the going up, you're going into the angelic realm. And you want to do that because the earth realm is very, very noisy. There's a lot of beings here. We've got people, we've got ghosts, we've got darker things, we've got aliens, we've got all kinds of noise. Going to the angelic realm makes it much clearer. You're less likely to get distractions. From there, pull in your spirit guides. Get to know them, trust them, and then ask them, hey, I want to go to Egypt, or I want to go back in history and see how Egypt was, or I want to go to Mars, or I want to go and talk to the elementals, the fairies, the gnomes, the elves, or whoever you want. But you want your spirit guide by your side, because there have been times that I have gone and I've astral traveled to other places, and there were rules. There were rules I didn't know. And so Michael would tell me, there was one I wanted to meet the god Kalima. I wanted to meet her. And so when I went there, Michael told me, he's like, do not look at her. Do not look at her. And it was like a very stern, don't do this. Me being me. So we walk in, and it was this beautiful place. It was like a pools of water on either side of this path that was in this building. And there was this little like stage, and we had to come out on the side, and I had to kneel down on one knee with my head down. And so did Michael. And she came out, and I looked at her, and I wasn't supposed to, but I was like, oh my God. And she got mad, and she was like, I'm not dealing with you. And she walked away. And I was like, and Michael turned and looked at me and was like, I told you, don't look at her. And we had to leave. So knowing who your spirit guides are helps, but those are kind of the steps. You want your spirit guides, you want to be in the angelic realm, and protect yourself. Do those things and just keep practice. Keep doing it until you go. And trust your intuition. Trust what you're getting. You're going to think, I'm making this all up. Put that aside and just trust whatever you get. Just let it flow. And the more you let it flow, the easier it gets to go to these places, because you're going to see things that look nothing like Earth. And it's very hard for us to comprehend that. So we are like, no, there's no way that I'm seeing this. This is so intuition. Trust it as much as you can.
Thank you so much. That is quite an experience you have with Kali Ma. At first, I was like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" Because I had a friend that worked heavily with Kali Ma, and I know she doesn't mess around. Like she tells you,
No.
she does not mess around. I don't work with Kali Ma. You know, she's not my cup of tea. But knowing my friend who worked heavily with her, you know, she does not mess around. Like she tells you something, you better do it, or else there's going to be consequences. So I was
She
like, "Oh my
was
gosh."
like that. She was like that. And the reason, I'll tell you the reason why I wanted to meet her is because I named my daughter after her. So I wanted to meet her. And it was her dad's idea. Let's name her Kali. I'm like, who is that? And then I learned all about Kali Ma. And so I was like, I want to meet her. But yeah, she is stern. Like she does not mess around, very stern to the point, and is like, okay, you're not going to abide by my rules. Leave my place. Like, okay.
I mean, that's not a bad consequence. I probably do the same thing you did. That, like, I don't know, like you said that, I was like, what happened? Like,
Right.
no, yes, what happened? Because I know a little bit about her, and she's not my cup of tea. But I don't know. The person I know that worked with her said she was like a tough love type parent,
Yeah.
like, and she'll give you a second chance, but like it's there's going to be consequences for your actions. I mean, I don't know. Like again, I don't work with her, but I had that experience with my
Mhm.
friend who does, and we had worked together in a ceremony that involved her, so I did get a little bit familiar with her energy. But no, that's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that
Oh,
experience.
not a problem. You know, and it's funny you brought up something that I want to mention here, is that all of these beings that you can meet in different dimensions, no matter whether they're angels to whatever, they have personalities. And sometimes you don't mesh. You don't get along, which is also why you want your spirit guide with you. It's like, I made this person mad. Let's leave now. But yeah, they have personalities, they have likes, they have dislikes, and they might not like you. I've worked with Gabriel, the Archangel Gabriel. To me, he's male, and we do not get along at all. So it's when I work with people who have him as a guide, I'm like, oh, it's you. Yay. This is great. And so it's good to know who you like, who you don't, who you will work with, and how their personalities are.
Yeah, very true. And in fact, I want to really stress the point that if you don't get along with someone, even if they're positive, like Gabriel, that's not a bad thing. It
No.
doesn't mean you're a bad person. It does
Mm-mm.
not mean your energy's too low. It is just natural. It's natural that we are not going to get along with everyone. On
Mm-hmm.
a soul level, we
Mm-hmm.
cannot get along with every single person because we're all different.
It is. Yep.
It's
Absolutely.
natural, it's normal. It doesn't mean they're bad. It doesn't mean you're bad just because your energy doesn't mix. Like I've met several, spiritual entities like gods, goddesses, and things that my energy does not mesh with theirs. It's like
Mm-hmm.
water and oil, and it's just, and I don't hate them. I have nothing against them. It's just they're not my cup of tea. They're not for me. And I feel like this is a good thing. I just really want to bring this point up. It's
Absolutely.
it's good to know that who you don't work with well and who you do. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there's so many deities, entities, angels, guides. We don't need to work with everybody. And if you find someone you don't resonate with, just move on. Say, I respect you. I respect the people that work with you, but you are not for me. That's it.
Absolutely. And that's 100% true, because I have people that love Gabriel, and he works great with them, and he's very different with them than he is with me. So it's just, we just don't get along, and it's okay. It's okay. There's people you don't like, there's beings you don't like.
Exactly. I'm sorry, I'm coughing a bit today. Yeah, my apologies for that. Okay, so let's move on to our next point.
Absolutely.
How can beginners prepare their mind and body for a successful astral projection?
Learn how to protect yourself first. There's many different ways to keep yourself safe while protecting, while astral projecting. Think of it as your soul is leaving your body. Your consciousness and soul are leaving. That's kind of leaving it open. So whatever it is, just make sure you set that first. I am protected. You can bring down spirit guides, even if you don't know who they are. Come down and protect me. Surround yourself with white light. Put up amulets, whatever it is, crystals, sage, whatever you want to do. Keep yourself safe. There's a lot of things out there. And then the next thing is, if you're not meditating, start. Meditation is the only way to get into the spiritual world. Look at meditation as the bridge. You're on the earth side. You've got to get to the spiritual side. You need a bridge. Meditation's that bridge. So there's a few ways to do meditation. You can do breathing meditation, which is great for the body. It will relax you. You can breathe and follow your breath in and out, but that's not what you need. You need to be more mental. You need to think. Create an environment in your head. Think of a park with trees and flowers, and put in there whatever you want. Swings, put in animals, whatever you want, but be detailed. That's going to start to develop that ability to get into the meditation mentally, because you want to see these things. You want to see these beings, and you're going to go. So it's going to be a lot of visual. And I know some people I have worked with struggle with the visual, and they're like, I can't see it, and they get frustrated. So work in what you can do. And if you're like, I can't see the angels, okay, but can you hear them? And when I say hear, you're going to hear in your mind like a thought. It's not with your ears. A lot of people are like, I don't hear them with my ears. It's in your head. But start learning to trust these clairs, the clairvoyance, clairaudient, clairsentient. Learn that. And meditation is the key to astral projection. We need it, because we can't call them on the phone and be like, hey, come over. I want to hang out. I want to see what you're like. We can't do it. So we have to go to them. And that's the easiest way, is to learn how to meditate. And I do know with a lot of people, they think, I can't quiet my mind. I can't turn my mind off. You're not turning it off. You're using your thinking to create an environment where, let's say you think of the beach, and you think of yourself at the beach, you feel the sand, you feel the air, you see the water, you hear the water, then say, I want my spirit guide to come in. Trust what comes in. You might feel them, see them, sense them. You got to build a connection. And then from there, just say, I want to go. Take me to wherever you want to go. And they will. But there's a little but here. Your guides will only take you to places that you're ready for, because they know what's best for you. And that is all between you and them. And that's why a communication with them is very important. But start meditating and protecting. Those are the things and trust your gut, trust your intuition. Definitely learn to do that. It's so easy to be like, I made it up. None of that's real. I didn't see that being. They didn't talk to me, and they didn't say that. Put all that aside, because it's just going to get in the way. And just trust what you're getting is true. And that's the best way to start astral projection.
Thank you. That's interesting, that whole doubting. A lot of people do that. Wow, they have a powerful spiritual experience, and they don't really know what to do with that, because maybe they don't fully believe it. So they say, oh, it was a dream. I dreamt that. Or, I just made that up. Or I imagined that because I wanted it to happen. And really what those are is it's self-doubt.
It is.
You're doubting your abilities. You're doubting your psychic gifts, your clear gifts. Not everyone's going to be clairvoyant, but everyone has some clear ability of some kind. It may be, clairaudience, like you said. It may be clairsentience. Maybe you just feel the presence. You feel the message in your heart chakra or something. But you're going to get the information somehow, even if it's not seeing it. And oftentimes I've found it does come through your third eye area. Like you'll hear a thought in your mind. The back of your mind just pops in. I've had that happen. For me, I'm clairvoyant, so sometimes I see a picture just pop in my third eye, but don't expect, if I don't physically see it, it didn't happen. Like that's going to hold you back. That's very much doubt limitation.
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay. So let's move on to the next one. So what relaxation techniques or meditation practices are helpful for preparing for astral travel, especially for a beginner? Like what what is, oh, sorry, what is a type of meditation you would recommend?
I would say to, if you've never meditated before, start with mindfulness, because mindfulness is going to teach you how to focus on the here and now. Because a lot of us are in the future or in the past. We're either thinking one way or the other. And when we do that, we kind of obsess over it and it gets in the way of our meditation. Mindfulness focuses on right now, focus on mindful breathing, and that's going to help to get your mind to focus. The next best thing to do is you can imagine you're in a place with fruit. Like, for example, let's take an apple tree. You would close your eyes and you would imagine, okay, I'm in a field with all these apple trees. You want to feel the grass beneath your feet. You want to see the trees. You want to smell the apples. You want to go over to the tree, pluck the apple, feel it, because we know what apples feel like. So we're going to remember, okay, and that's what it is. When you're feeling something or smelling something or seeing something in your meditation, it's like a memory. You already know. Unless you've never had an apple before, then go to another fruit. But you know what an apple feels like. You know the color of it, the shape of it, the smell of it, smell it. What this does is, while you're being very detailed with this fruit, you're going to eat it. You're going to just feel it, feel the sticky, taste it. You're opening up those clairs. You're opening up, which clair is good. Am I seeing this? Do I taste it better than smell it? Can I hear myself bite into this apple? Mine is clairvoyant and clairaudient. I'm very good with those two. I think the worst for me is like the tasting. Like, I know what an apple tastes like, but I can't really get that, but I can hear it clearly and I can see the scene. And when you're practicing just doing something visual, like fruit, just eating fruit, you are preparing your mind to meditate on a different level. And that's a great way to start, because you all know what fruit is. If you never had an apple, go to blueberries. Have a pizza. I don't care what it is. Just, you want to open those senses. That's what you're paying attention to, and focus only on the senses you're good at. I've had a lot of people be like, why? I can't see it, so I can't meditate. No. That's not what that means. It just means, okay, maybe you hear it instead. That's what this type of meditation does, is it teaches you how to trust your senses, trust your intuition, which will prepare you to go to the beach and pull in your spirit guide. And then get used to that before you go somewhere else.
I love that. You're kind of, I have something funny to say here. You're kind of like making me want to go meditate and like just walk into a room full of fresh baked pizza and like smell the pizza and eat all the pizza. Because I kind of want to eat a bunch of pizza in this realm. So I'll just do it in the astral
Might as
plane.
well. You can. There's no reason why you can't.
Yeah, let me go have an ice cream party in the astral plane. It's free. There's no calories. I can taste it. I can,
Yep.
you know.
And enhance your meditation skills at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. Very true. And honestly, doing that, like even just once a week, maybe like you have a, like, I don't know, like fried food Friday, where you just go into the astral plane and eat all the food that you can't eat here. Like, doing that's fun. It's easy. It's something you look forward to, and you're enhancing your clairs. You're finding out, yeah, do I smell this pizza, or do I taste the pizza? Or maybe you see it really clearly, or maybe you feel it. You feel the greasy texture, and doing that, it's fun. And like, I love it. I absolutely love that idea.
Absolutely. And you can do that with anything. It doesn't even have to just, like, you can start with food. And so when I first started meditating and learning who my spirit guides were, I learned who Michael was very quickly. And he taught me a lot of stuff. And when he brought me like fruit, start here, start with this, do this, whatever. Then it got trickier. Then he brought in like, okay, now picture a ball. And I'm like, okay, and it starts with a circle and then it becomes a ball. And he's like, change the color. So I made it from like red to orange. He's like, now you're going to make it like bigger and smaller, and it became more, okay, well, now we're going to go even further, and we're going to build into the sacred geometry. See it, put colors to it, move it around. The more complex you can grow this into, the more you're preparing yourself to get to those other dimensions, because you're going to see some stuff. You're going to see some good things, some not so good things, and things that are like really out there. So you want to get your mind, and this is what it does. You just challenge yourself, become more detailed, more, what can you do? Make a color that doesn't exist, all kinds of stuff. It's amazing what you can do in meditation. It really is.
Yeah, wow. Now I'm thinking, what could a color that doesn't exist be? Like, that's gonna be something that keeps me up at night.
You know, the funny thing is, I can't think of anything, but when I was meditating, a color showed up. It was like just a color, it just does it. A lot of it's iridescent, I've noticed. But it does, it just kind of shows up, because another story that I did that was kind of short, I go to the Akashic Records, which is in another dimension somewhere. They are books of our soul, and they told me, I opened it up, and it's written in their language for me. That's how I see it, and it's iridescent writing. It's these all colors in all this. It's so interesting. The script is all these different colors. I can't read it, and I tell them I can't read this, and they're like, "Of course you can." I'm like, "I don't know what this is." So it prepares you for those types of things, to open your mind up. And that's why you're doing that. That's a great way to start, to prepare you for these types of travels.
Yeah, that's interesting you mentioned that. I have had, now that I remember, I'm thinking about it, I haven't done astral projection in years. I used to do it quite frequently with my friend, but I haven't done it in years. And now that you're mentioning that, I have had things like scrolls that I have, it's not human language. It's like, I can't explain it. I can remember what it looked like, but I've channeled it a few times. But when it comes to reading it, I found if you are faced with something like that, try feeling the energy. Try sensing it and feeling the message that comes to you, rather than trying to approach it logically. Because I think we need to realize, when we're doing things like astral projection, it's not a human thing. We are not limited by the human mind when we're doing this. It's our soul that's leaving and doing these things. So if we approach it from a soul level, does my soul feel this? Does my soul understand this? We don't have to consciously understand what the letters of the words mean or what they sound like. It's about our soul understanding the meaning of it. At least for me in my experience.
Absolutely. And that is exactly what Michael was trying to teach me sometimes, because he's like, you know what it says. And it was open up that all psychic ability is emotion. You're right. It's not in the mind. It's not. We want it to be, but it's not. It's what you feel. What are you getting from this? And it's hard to go into the emotion and turn off the thought. But yeah, you're 100% right that you know it. Your soul knows these things. It does.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, and we need to understand too, we can't always bring these things back with us when we re-enter our body either, because it's that soul level. Some things you can some things, but in my experience, there are some things that stay in the astral because they're not things that our human minds can comprehend.
Or it's not safe.
Go ahead. What?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It is just, some people are not meant to know it, the outside of us. Like, we want to talk about it. Like, hey, let me tell you what I saw. And it might not be meant for them. And they know that. So they're like, no, we're not doing that.
Absolutely. I've had that happen a few times. It's like, oh, I had this great experience, and the astral projector, like, tell me about it. I'm like, I can't. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, I literally cannot tell you because it's not for you. Yep. And when you try to recall these memories, like for me, and my personal experience, the mind just goes blank. Like, I just won't be able to remember that thing, even though I remembered it 10 seconds ago.
Yep. Yeah, and I always look at it as that's their clause, kind of like, oh no, we will take that info from you if you're gonna do that. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, you're reminding me about these things. Now I want to go do it again. I
Right?
have no need to though. That's why I've stopped because I personally feel like if you're gonna do spiritual work like that, there should be some reason for it, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And I no longer have a reason to do it right now. So um let's talk about that next.
Okay.
So how important is setting intentions before astral projection? Talking about that reason, we have to have an intent. Why are we doing this? And what are some effective ways that we can set the intention for astral projecting?
Okay, so some reasons, like I do soul readings with people. That's what I do, which is why I do it. I learned that I can talk to any spirit being, no matter who it is or where it is. I can go find them. I have not been able to not find somebody yet. And sometimes when I'm working with somebody, they're stuck with something in their life and they have no idea. And my main goal is to teach them how to meditate so they can go find the answer, but sometimes they can't get there yet. So I will do it. And what I do is I will leave and go into the spirit world and go to my guide first. Then I go to their guides. And that's when I start asking questions. Why is this person dealing with this? What is the problem here? And it does take a bit to unravel their story. Is sometimes guides lead you down what they think you should know, and it doesn't actually answer the question. So you kind of go on this rabbit trail thing. But I use it to help people figure out, why are you blocked? What is causing this problem in your life, whatever it is. And I get it from a soul level. I talk to their guides. I talk to their higher self. I talk to whoever I have to. I will remove things that might be attached to them or blocks that are in them. I use it to fix these things. So no, not anybody can just go in there and just, some people can. They can just go in there and walk around and for no apparent reason and just come back and there's no goal. But a lot of us can't do that. And that is decided on your soul and your guides and whoever's working with you. They know what's best. They do. I've told people, I'm like, if you can't see something, that's not between you and me. That's between you and them. There's something going on here. I'm just the middleman trying to help you figure out what the problem is. But if your intention is, I want to go do something bad. I mean, yeah, there's bad things out there. There is. I'm not going to say there isn't. What's your goal? Where are you going with this? There's karma, there's consequences for something. So you can't just go over to somebody you don't like and be like, I'm going to push you in the astral world because I don't like you. And then come back and be like, ha ha ha, because your guides might not allow that. Their guides will not allow that. So there's at least that middleman somewhere being like, no human. You go back home. Do not do this. But if your intention is to help yourself, to grow, to heal, to learn who you are, why are you here? What's your purpose in life? You have all those answers in you. Meditation and astral travel gets you to those answers. If your intention is to learn more about yourself and heal yourself, you have to work at it, but you can do that. If your intention, and there are people who use it to go and do not so good things. There is. That's a whole other problem that comes back. So protect you. And I think a good rule of thumb is don't worry about what other souls are doing. Don't worry. Everybody's on their own path. Everybody's doing their own thing. And we're all here to learn and grow. And what I'm doing may be different than you and may be different than the people around me. And I'm different than them. So stick to your own path. We have a lot of people that are like, well, I want you on my path or I want you off your path. It's like, no. I earned here. Let me walk my path myself. So just be respectful in the spirit world. Go in there. Don't be mean. Don't go to the elementals and start bullying them. Don't demand beings to come and do things for you. Don't do any of that. There are very high level beings that have no problem taking away your abilities to stop you from doing these things. So be respectful, work on yourself, And don't worry about what other souls and other people are doing unless you're healing them. If you're a healer, you can help them from a different perspective, a higher perspective. So it really is intention of, I want to help, I want to grow, I want to learn, I want to whatever. But don't be mean. Don't be that guy.
Yes, good points here. Sorry for my coughing. Yes. Yeah, so the setting intentions, like I personally am a believer that when we do spiritual work like this, because we're not just receiving information at this point, we're actively interacting with that information. We're touching the spirit realm. I, again, personally feel that we should always have some intent and make that very clear before we start. Why are we doing this? So, and that's up to you. You know, no one can tell you why you're doing this, but you have to decide, why am I taking this leap into the astral realm? Why am I doing this? Whatever it is. So to heal yourself, to grow, to learn, to expand yourself, to overcome a blockage, to heal someone else, whatever the case is, think about that before you start and say, why am I doing this? And make sure that it's focused and it's clear.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yes, definitely.
Okay, so what can beginners expect when exploring the astral plane, and how can they navigate it safely?
Don't trust everything. This is a hard lesson to learn. Just because it looks like a cute little puppy doesn't mean it is. Do not trust everything. That is rule number one. And you have to be protected. You have to work with your spirit guides, because your spirit guides are your best friend. They're going to keep you safe. They're going to keep you out of the places you don't need to be. They're going to tell you, hey, we're going to go to this place. It's not good. Just so you know. And it's obviously way more advanced. In the beginning, just go to the angelic realm. It's safe there. It's okay there. There's nothing there but angels. It's fine. You just want to go up into it, and you kind of know, because you feel a little different when you get into the angel. It's lighter. You feel lighter. Start there and then get used to being there, but become friends with your guides. You want to work with your spirit guides. We have animal guides, we have human guides, and we have non-human guides. The animal guides are the easiest to see. The human guides have the same perspective as humans, just a little bit higher. The non-human is who I work with, like Michael. You know, I have a few other angels, and then there are other different beings. You could work with like ascended masters. You can work with different gods, whoever you want. You got to like them, but you've got to trust them. Because if you don't trust, they're the ones that are going to keep you safe. There have been times I have worked with people, and Michael has said to me, if you go to this place in the astral world, I can't go there. You're on your own. You need to know that. And I would be like, okay, let me go and explore it. Don't do that until you trust your guides and you trust what you're doing, and you Michael taught me something one time. I was in the angelic realm and I was learning how to astral travel, what to do. And while I was there, he brought in 3 beings. I remember one of them was a child. It was a girl. It was this little girl, maybe like 10 years old. One was an older woman, and the other one was a scary looking monster. And he said to me, which one of them is evil? And your first thought is the scary guy. But he's like, don't do that. Trust your intuition. What do you feel? And I kind of looked at all of them and I was like, the child doesn't feel right to me. And he's like, yes. Don't always trust the scary looking thing is the bad thing. Sometimes it's the one that looks very nice. I have met dark beings that came to me as a very tall, attractive human male that was nice and was very friendly and very courteous. And I got the vibe from him of, no, I don't like you. There's something wrong with you, you know? And so sometimes what you see isn't always right. They are very good at height. Trust your gut, trust your intuition. And if your guide, Michael always stands to this side with me, when I'm traveling, and he'll be like in my ear, no, no, you don't want this. Don't trust this or whatever. If I'm not sure, but no, 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 we're not dealing with that. You have to trust your intuition. Trust your guides is what you do in the beginning. Build a relationship with them. Go to the nice places. Don't go to bad places. Don't go to them. There's no reason to go there unless you have work to do. And if that case, you're a much more advanced. You're not a beginner. Beginners, stay in the nice stuff. Work your way up and then figure out where you are from there. But beginners, just go to the angelic realms. Cool. You're astral traveling, you're seeing spaces, you're in the beach, you're at the mountains, wherever you are, and you're meditating, you're building your clairs, you're building a relationship with your guides. But yes, why do you want to go to the fairies? Why do you want to go see the aliens? Why do you want to do this? What's your intention? And that's true.
Yes, very good point about not trusting what we see at first glance. It's the same concept of you can't judge a book by your cover. Very, very, very true. Is just because something looks nice on the surface doesn't mean they're nice. In fact, oftentimes the opposite may be true. And the scary looking things, if we look at it, self-defense and protection mechanisms often look very scary when you don't understand them. I think like the self-defense angle is interesting with the astral plane as well. Just because we're not physically grounded in our bodies doesn't mean we can't protect ourselves. And that again is a little more advanced. But definitely trust your intuition and think about that. How am I protecting myself? Not just physically, not just with the wards and the shields and the crystals. How are you protecting yourself in that realm? Are you shielding your soul too? There's a way. If you get good at energy work, you can shield yourself in the astral plane as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can make weapons in the astral plane
You
to
can.
protect you. You can.
You can.
Probably more advanced, but you
Yep.
can. You know, that's the thing is, how are you protecting yourself? What's your plan B? And yes, your guides should be with you, but if you do end up in that scary place or your guides can't go there or whatever happens, and don't just go around with your astral sword being like, I'm this, you know, this person, because you don't want to assume that the person you're going after is bad unless they truly are. And you need to use your intuition to determine that, you know, just because they look different doesn't mean they're bad.
Yes.
You know, yeah. So that's a very good point. And what are some common experiences or encounters that you may incur that may occur during astral projection?
Depends on what you're doing and where you're going and what your intentions are. If your intention is just to go to the angelic realm and meet your guides, then that's where you're going to go and that's what you're going to meet. You're going to meet your animal guides and they're going to come in, they're going to be nice and everything's going to be friendly. If your intention is, I want to help someone, okay, first off, know more about energy healing before you play around with somebody else's energy, because that can really mess them up. You don't want to do that. That's why I always say I'm going to work with their spirit guides because they know what's best for them. So I can't do that. But it really is just knowing, why am I here? What do I want to do? Do I just want to explore? You can explore, but for yourself. Leave other people alone. Don't go and be like, I want to look at this person's energy and see what can I do to make them like me. It's like, no, there's karma there. Don't do that. Now you're playing with soul karma. Don't touch soul karma. But it's you got to be careful and trust your gut, trust your intuition, really. You got to trust where you're going.
Okay. Yeah, the karma thing is interesting. I wanted to say something about that, and now I lost my train of thought.
I did too, actually. I got lost halfway through it. I'm like,
yeah, I had a comment, and I was like, what was I going to say? I'm trying to find it. Anyway, that it's not what I wanted to say, but one of the things that I remember from when I used to do astral travel and in Akashic records is you can look at your soul contracts because they're yours. You can look at them to see where they are and how much of it you've completed. I think that's a fun a fun beginner thing to do because it's your energy, it's your contract, it's your guides. You know, you're not doing anything with anyone else, but just to look at your own contract, say, how far, you know, have I come this lifetime with my soul contracts? Am I on track with them? That I just remembered the other thing I wanted to say. And the other thing I wanted to say, which isn't really related, is that consent is important when we're dealing with people's energies, or even entities' energy. Going along with what you mentioned about don't go like see how you can make some guy like you or have a crush on you on the astral plane because you like him. You know, that's not a good thing. Not only is it a karma issue, but it's also the consent issue. His soul and his soul contract may not be aligned to yours. So forcing
Mhm.
something like that can really mess up things in huge ways that we're not aware of from this perspective.
Absolutely, it can. It can cause sometimes as humans, we think, well, I really like this person, so they're supposed to be with me. And I've had people talk to me about this where they're like, well, we're supposed to be together. And yet their soul is telling me, we did it. The contract is over. I'm done. This was as far as we were meant to go. And when you start playing around with those soul contracts, I work with a being over there who deals strictly with soul contracts. And so I have him do it. And I'm like, this is what I need done for me. And he'll sit there and write or erase or fix or whatever he's got to do because it's mine. I can do it. And when I work with other people, they do it. I walk them through, you do this, you talk to this guy. And occasionally I'll talk to the guy for them. But there have been times that they have said to me, you can't do that. You cannot change this piece. This is written in stone, essentially. This is meant to happen. Don't touch it. There's some things like karma we can kind of fix and erase and change, but some stuff is written on your life path, in your soul path. And if you go playing around with it without knowing what you're doing, you're going to mess everything up. Don't do that. Your guides will fix it. I did learn that. They will fix it if they realize, what are you doing? But yeah, you can cause problems in your life, somebody else's life. Just stick to yourself. Stick to yourself in the very beginning. Just work on you. Don't work on other people. Just avoid it.
Absolutely. Strong agree. Leave other people alone. It's a consent issue. It could
Mhm.
really mess them up. It can really
Yes, it
mess you
can.
up. Like we don't want to do that. Unless now this is like off the topic a little bit, but I've done this stuff with another person who was advanced at it together, or both we met up in the astral and did things together in the astral. That can be really fun because then you have their consent, they're aware of it, you know, and that can be a fun thing to do if you're a little afraid of astral projection or you're not really sure you want to do it alone. Bring a friend with you. If you're just starting out, you're just learning, get a friend on board. Say, hey, let's meditate together. Let's learn these things together, and then share your experiences, and then try to say, okay, well, I found this cool realm, you know, it looked like this, and then go there with your friend and meet the friend in the astral. That's a good way to get good at communicating with other beings as
It
well.
is. It
Because
is.
when you come back, you can talk about it. Say, what did I say to you in the astral plane? Then they tell you what you said. You're like, you know, and then you can compare, and then you have that verification of the accuracy of it too. You know, because they're physically
Mhm.
with you. You know, it can be a great sleepover activity, a great sleepover weekend activity. Um, that you have to have someone that's at the same level as you to do that
Yeah,
though.
they do. They do. I had a group, you reminded me of this. I had a group that I did that with. They were more advanced and they wanted to go to more of the scarier places on Earth, not off of Earth, just on Earth. And there was one of those haunted forest places. I think it was the one in Transylvania. I'm pretty sure it was that one. And they wanted to go together. And I was like, let's see what happens. And if ironically, they got there and they saw each other, but some were not there. They were in another part. And I did it with them. And normally I didn't. I would just facilitate. But I was like, I want to go. I want to see the scary forest. And I didn't end up with them at all. I ended up in some other place. And I was like, this place is really, really bad. I'm out. And I kind of like, I knew I could feel it all around me. I'm like, no, I don't need this today. And I pulled out of it and I would watch them from above just to make sure they were okay. I was like, because things went bad, I'd be like, okay, we're coming out. But it's good to do that with people, because then they came out and were like, did you see it like this? And they're like, yeah, I did. I saw this. And they started comparing notes, which develops that trust. I am seeing this. This is real. Yes, it is. And we go, and that's another beginner thing. You're going to go through that whole, none of this is real for a while, but you get past it because you start validating it. And that's when this really opens up.
Absolutely. I love that experience. It sounds super fun. It's really great for beginners. And like I said, they do have to be at your same level if you're going to do that. But, if you're just starting and your friend is just starting and you get like maybe 5 people who are just beginning, why not learn together, right? Why not go on this journey together? You'll be growing together. You should be around the same area with your abilities, as far as how advanced you are. And then you can get really good at it with practice. There's another area I want to talk about that's not, it's related to this, is coming back to your body when you're done. But first, I want to ask one more question before we talk about that. That's all right with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So how can beginners ensure that they meet their spirit guides and explore the astral realms while maintaining their safety and returning to their physical body?
So how do they ensure that their spirit guide is actually their spirit guide and not something else? That kind of a question?
Yeah, this has lots of angles. It's kind of like a
It does.
spider down different
It
directions.
does.
So I'll try to break it down because we still have, I think we have a little bit of time. But okay, so first let me explain it because it's a loaded question. So how can beginners ensure that they do meet their spirit guides? How do we know we're actually meeting our guides and not just some random, like, let's say we get to the angelic realm and we're trying to contact our guides and we just can't find them there, or we just see some angels, but they don't feel like they're really our guides or connected to us. Like, how do we make sure we meet our guides? Part 1. Part 2, how can we covered that? We both covered that a little bit. You had lots of good suggestions, and then my suggestion was like to bring like a, shield your astral body too, not just your physical body. How do we safely return to our physical bodies? And I think that it's like a 3-part question. Does that make sense to you?
I missed part 2 because it cut out for a second. What was part 2?
Part 2 is talking about how do we maintain our safety while we're exploring the astral realms.
Okay. So I think we did cover some of it. So the best way to know who your spirit guides are is, let's say you sit down, you close your eyes, you meditate, bring down the white light, bring it through you and then all around you. Okay. Be protected, protect the room, whatever. This is step 1. And imagine you stand up. You're imagining, okay, I'm standing up, and try to get a visual of the room or a sensing, and then bring down a set of stairs that go up. Count up just 20 steps, because that's going to kind of get you into this relaxed state. So it's going to help you do that. When you get to the top of the steps, your intention is, I'm in the angelic realm. This is where I am. You need to trust how you feel. If you get in there and you feel comfortable, you feel light, you feel calm, you feel whatever, you want to trust that. So you want to start by going up the stairs, coming down, go up the stairs, just to get used to the feeling. Once you get up there, build your space however you want. A beach, let's just go with a beach because it's easy. Once you've got it all built up the way you want, pull in an animal first. You say, I want to meet one of my animal guides. The first animal that comes in, trust it. I have a white wolf. I wanted a cat because I love cats, but I got a white wolf and I offended him. Because I was like, you're not a cat. Trust that first, because those guys, animals, you're going to have a ton of them. You can even pull in like a pet that you had if you had a pet, because you trust your pet and your pet's not going to mislead you. Another thing that you can do is you can pull in a person, your human guide. If you know somebody on the other side, like I met my grandfather. He died when I was 2. So that was the first person I ever met when I started meditating. So when I met him, I knew who he was. I trusted him. He was my grandfather. I could feel it. But I went to my dad because I'm like, it was his dad. I'm like, did he look like this? Did he talk like this? And he's like, yeah. So I met him a few times to get some information. You have to build the trust. If he wasn't my grandfather, I wasn't going to get any information that was good. But I felt it. I could feel it. And from there, it kind of went into the higher guides, Michael, because now I trust my pet, or I trust the animal. I trust my grandfather. So you start kind of building this relationship. And that's why I say, go there, meet them, and leave. Go there, meet them, talk, ask questions. Who are you? What are you? Where do you come from? Ask everything. Build a relationship, but trust how you feel. If you're standing with this being and you're like, I just don't feel right, don't deal with the being. It could be like, no, I'm your spirit guide. Be like, yeah, it's all in, it's however you feel your intuition. A lot of people, it's their chest or their stomach area, but some people feel it in other places, like they feel it in their back or their lower back, but a lot of it's the chest, stomach area. And you just get this like, yeah, I feel like I connect with you, or I don't feel like I connect with you. If you get that vibe, back away. Like, you know what? I'm going to, and just leave. Just leave. This is the cool thing with meditation. Open your eyes. You're okay. You're still in the room. You're okay. Got to get grounded, but you're still okay. You can always just open your eyes if it gets scary or weird, or you're just like, I'm not ready. It's okay. Just open your eyes. So that's how you've got to learn to trust that intuition. That intuition is everything. Without it, you're kind of running blind in the psychic world and in the spirit world. You really are. You're kind of feeling around being like, do I trust you? No, you trust you. Always trust you. So once you go up the stairs, you get in there and you build this relationship based on your trust and your intuition and what you feel about them. You can even ask them. You can bring down a white light to go into them and kind of go through them, or whatever your protective thing is. Because if they're not good for you, they're not going to be able to be in it. They're not going to be able to withstand that protective barrier. And if they are good for you, they'll be like, yeah, okay, fine, bring it on, whatever. You know, I'm good. I'm vetted. I'm okay. So you can do like little tests with higher energy. There's a lot of different layers to energy. And a lower vibration or not a very good being cannot be in a higher vibration energy. So bring in that light, which comes from above, from whatever you want to call it. And if they are not good for you, they'll go away. It's a great way to kind of, and the funny thing is, I just figured this out right now, because I don't do that. I trust my intuition, and I was like, that's actually a really good way. So that's not from me, that's from them. You can do that. But when you go up there and you do your thing and you're walking around, ask your questions, get to know it, when you're done, if you went up those stairs, you go right back to those stairs and you go back down. This is your intention of, I'm leaving the angelic realm now. I'm going to go back down the stairs, and you come back down into the room you're in. You turn around and your soul sits back down in your body. And then I always go through, connect your soul feet to your physical feet. Connect your soul legs to your physical legs, and just do it one step at a time. When you get to your head, you think, I am grounded, I am grounded, I am grounded. And then you can open your eyes. If you still feel dazed or disconnected, stop, bring yourself back in and ground. You can also see roots coming out of your feet, going down into the earth and kind of pulling you back down. It'll kind of bring you down. A lot of people are disconnected from their body a lot, so this kind of brings them back in. But when you are astral projecting, the one thing that I will say is, always go up those stairs to your meditation space first. then travel from there, go back to your space, and then back down those stairs. But you want to, I always rinse off. I have a waterfall in my space. So when I go there, the first thing I do is rinse off any earth energy that I don't need. Then I'll go and travel wherever. When I come back, I go back under that water to wash off whatever energy I picked up. And then I come back down. So that way I come back down clean. I don't bring something with me that's just going to make life more difficult. I don't need that. So that's how you can go up, play around, and come back down. I always use that space. I call it my field because it's a field. And I'm like, start at your field, then go wherever you want, come back, and then come back down. That's the process. That is what I do. That's what, find a way that works for you, but this is a good start. And then learn, what do I do? What do I do? But don't just close your eyes and go there, because you're still in the earth realm, and that's where a lot of things are. Go above it and come back into it. Go above it and come back into it. That kind of up and down way. That's how I would do it. That's how I do it.
I love that technique. I absolutely love it. I'm going to try it. I'm actually going to try that technique because I have been doing it in a very similar but slightly different way. And I really, really like that. I love the rinsing, the cleansing before and after. It's kind of like washing your hands before and after you cook a meal. You want to wash your hands before you cook the food so your food isn't getting contaminated. You want to wash it after so that you're, especially like before you eat the food, it's just, I don't know, like, it makes sense to me that you're purifying yourself at 2 points, you know. I really love the up and down stairs, and it is fantastic. So thank you so much for sharing that.
No problem.
I feel like that covers how we come back to our bodies as well. Just like repeat the process. If you walked up the stairs to get there, you're going to walk back down the stairs to come back into yourself. If you imagine that you floated up into space in a bubble, imagine that bubble taking you back down into Earth, back into your body.
Whatever. Absolutely. I mean, even an elevator. There's so many ways. I was watching a few of the superhero movies for a little while, and when I meditated, I would come up into my space and land like a superhero, and I was like, all right, I gotta stop watching these things. And then I would just come back down and land here like a superhero. So it was kind of funny how sometimes what's going on around you influences how you do it, but you can float up, come down, take an elevator, take an escalator. I don't care. However you get up, that's how you come down. But you go up first, and then no matter where you're going. And if you're working on like clients, you go up first and then come down and work on them, because you're kind of clearing you and connecting, and then coming down and giving them more pure energy, you're going to get a clearer reading too. And then when you're done with them, go back up, because you got to wash off whatever you picked up from them and then come down. Yeah, that's absolutely, however you went up, that's how you come down.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. That is fantastic. So I want to mention one small thing about the grounding too, because I know you touched on grounding. You may feel ungrounded like when you come back, and grounding is important, and it's not really necessarily in the scope of this. I feel like grounding is its own topic, but really, really briefly, you mentioned the roots into the earth, which is fantastic. Another method that can help visualizing is if you're a tree, and the roots of your feet go down into the earth, but then you want to have your arms come up and be the branches of the tree as well into sky. So you're balancing earth and sky together. And then another method that, and you're going to use different methods depending on what resonates with you. Another method could be that you're laying in your body and you imagine that you're a mound of mud and your body's dissolving into the earth and becoming part of the soil. Like that can just help you get back into the earth, get back into the physicalness of your body. When I do it, I do exactly what you said with the soul feet going into the physical feet, and the soul, like I go up from the feet up until my head, and then I move around like this to just kind of get accustomed. And then I feel the room around me, and picture what it looks like, and then I open my eyes. And I find that helps to ground me too. And eating food as well after doing this can help you really ground more into your body as well.
Definitely. So. And I love how everybody has their own way, their own methods, something they learned themselves, they learned while traveling, they learned through other people. Try it. Try it all, because sometimes you find new things, you're like, "Huh," or you incorporate. I've incorporated so many different, like the tree thing, I've done that. I've meditated and just okay, because I was very flighty when I first started meditating. I was very disconnected. I am very much always in the spiritual world. So it's like, I gotta get grounded here. And I would root my feet into the ground and be the tree, and you feel connected, but connected to them at the same time. It's and just try stuff. I haven't tried the mud thing. I'm going to try that because that sounds interesting. I'm like, I wonder what that's like. So yeah, just try. Everybody has, I am of the firm believer, different teachers teach different things that all help you. Just take what you like, don't take the stuff you don't like, and make your own. Do it, make it your own. That's what I love about spirituality. You can make it your own. It's not set in stone. You have to do it this way or whatever. Just make it what works for you. It's what's the best about it.
Absolutely. The mud thing, I want to say I discovered that on my own, but I don't want to say that for sure because maybe someone else does that too. I don't know. But I just kind of accidentally discovered that one day when I was laying in the grass on a nice summer day. And I just kind of closed my eyes and imagined that I was becoming the grass and I was just melting into it. And after I did that, I felt so grounded.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Mhm.
It
Yep.
wasn't even intentional because I was like, if we have our feet, our roots, what if our whole body just becomes this grass,
I'm gonna
that
try.
yes, that's like my own little technique. But yeah, absolutely, I completely agree with you. Tying into that idea we mentioned earlier that not everyone's going to get along with every entity because
No.
we're all different. The
Mhm.
same thing applies to these techniques. The mud technique is not going to work for everybody. The tree technique is not going to work for everybody. Some people connect more to the wind. So, like having the wind
Mhm.
blow through your body and remove all that stuff is going to be a lot more effective for them than the tree would be. It depends on the person. Try it all. Try everything. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work for you. That's okay. It might work for someone else. But don't try to get stuck in this idea that you have to do it one way because you really don't.
And it's funny. I like the waterfall, but I'm a water sign. So I like water to a point. So I would use the waterfall, but you could also, like, there are fire signs. You could use like a fire. Like, I'm just going to go through it. And it's not hot. It's all meditation. You're not actually burning yourself, but you could go into the fire. I have one that I go into the fire to let it burn off whatever. The earth would be like the earth people. They connect more to the ground. It's just finding like the air. I love wind. But having figure out, okay, this is what I like. I like this. Use whatever you like. Use whatever works. And yeah, try it. Try it. But I have people that I create a field with them and they don't like it. They're like, I don't like fields. There's bugs there. I'm like, okay, well, this isn't a meditation. There's no bugs, but I get what you're saying. They're like, I want the beach. Then make a beach. Doesn't matter to me. Just visualize whatever you want. Come back however you want. Ground how you want. I mean, I've had people, they can't go through doors in the meditation. It blocks them. Just weird things like that will happen sometimes. So just go through whatever and try everything and find what works. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter how you do it. It just matters that you do the steps.
Hmm.
Is the bottom line. Is it as long as you're grounding when you come back and you're using a method of going up into another plane and you're protecting yourself, how you do that is not important. It's that it works for you and that you're doing these steps, that you're
Hmm.
including all the steps. However you want to do it, it doesn't matter. Um,
I think
yeah,
one thing to bring up about grounding is why. Why do you have to ground? Because your soul's not really connected in your body. So when you leave and you go up and you connect to the, you can try this too. When you're really getting good at it and you're up in the angelic realm and you're meditating and you're seeing your space. If you open your eyes, you're just like, whoa, for whatever reason, a cat comes up or whatever, and you open your eyes, you are going to feel dizzy, dazed. just really, really out of it. And it doesn't stop. There have been times I have forgotten to ground. And I'm like, why am I so out of it? And I'm like, wait, I don't think I came back down. That's why you want to come down. When you come back down into your body, you're clearer. You can think better. You're more connected to here. Things are clearer. I've had people say, wow, it's clearer here than it was. You can be very fogged out almost. It's weird. And the best way to experience it, do it. See what happens when you're on a really good meditation and just open your eyes. You're like, wow, okay, give me a minute. I got to come back down. And then you'll feel normal and you'll feel like you. So if you do not feel like you're not grounded. Come back down. That's why you want to ground. And you don't want to leave your body open.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I have definitely been there and done that. Yes, but it looks like it is time for us to wrap up tonight. So thank you so much, Holly, for being here and sharing your wisdom on astral projection. Is there any last thoughts, anything you want to tell our viewers, whether about this topic or something else before we wrap up?
Practice. Just practice. Do not get the idea in your head, I can't do this, because that's going to make it so you can't. You can. You just need to practice, work in your realm, work with your abilities, and don't live in the other world. You got to live here, but go visit and come back. But practice, and you'll get better. Absolutely. You will get better. Yes, that was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Make sure to go check out Holly on Mysticsense. You should see her beautiful face on her profile picture. There are many people named Holly, and there are many psychics named Phoenix as well. So if you want a reading with us, please look us up. Look for our profile pictures. We are there, we promise. Yes, but thank you so much for sharing this wisdom tonight, and thank you for watching this episode, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a lovely evening.
You too.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.